have water, do anything, Gatorade or anything?
No, thank you.
Are you hungry at all?
Just a pizza?
I feel bad eating any of your food. So
No, it's fine. What kind of pizza do you like?
it doesn't matter really.
Okay.
Just whatever.
Take it away.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Do you like that kind? Or is that
I don't like anything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, I was muted. Hi, how are you? I just wanted to want you guys to see that I took that in last week and took it in and took it in and took it in, and I was like basically disgusted. And I just wanted to show you that he had right in front of him the picture of Bella and Cece and eating a pizza like nothing had ever happened. So I found that really strange. And I also believe that this tells us a lot about the mindset he had at this time, at this day. And I think he's a complete absolute liar and is not capable of any feelings whatsoever. But yeah, hi, you guys. How are you doing on this nice Sunday night? I was thinking of going live or not, but I was going through my emails and comments of you guys recently, and I thought I'm going to be doing a live stream of stuff that needed to be explained a little more because it always comes up, right? And I prepared like three questions you guys keep asking. And one thing I wanted to show you regarding um, misinformation and what's out there about Chris Watts and the story overall or the case overall. And yeah, so the first thing I wanted to get into today is, can you explain how geotap works, please? And I'm gladly gonna be doing it because I did not do that in a long time. And I think, in my opinion, it stands and falls with the geotap system. Then the second one is, do you believe the shadow walking out of the garage is actually Bella? That was the second most asked question. And the third one was, please show Shanann's phone logs again. And I'm going to be doing this. So it won't take us very long. And I got to be honest, you guys, I'm not planning on doing a massive 3-hour live stream. I'm injured with my back. I cannot sit. I cannot lay. I don't know. I did something to my back while refurbishment going on at my workplace, and it's just horrible pain. I always had problems with my back, but for a week or so I just don't know what to do anymore. Nothing helps, no medication, and I'm basically very exhausted. But yeah, long story short, let's get into this. I prepared a little something about regarding the geotap, and I'm gonna stop my camera. I'm not looking that well today anyway. But yeah, I hope you guys are well though, and not going through pain and stuff like I do. So yeah, so hold on, give me 1 second. This is not working for me. Hold on 1 sec. Oh, okay, let's see. Yeah. So, all right. Geotap. What is geotap? Right? So, geotap is nothing other than basically just a GPS system, but a more advanced GPS system, right? So, geotap was installed in Anadarko trucks in July or June of 2018. And why did they do this? They had no GPS or anything before they installed Geotap. The reason for that was that a worker, an oil field operator in Texas, actually had a deadly accident with his work truck. He was looking for directions to an oil field on his personal phone and wasn't concentrating on the roads or nothing, and came up from the road, bounced over and died. So they came up with the plan, and that happened, I believe, in 2017. And then they came up with, we got to do something because there is lawsuits involved, right? So they came up with geotabs. Geotab was established back then in 2018 with a pretty good system. It's like the world leading system when it comes to GPS. And I actually spoke to many engineers of Geotab, how all the system works and what they might have had and stuff like that. So I did a live stream on Geotab a while ago. I believe that was one of my first videos ever on YouTube. And in this case, it's my opinion that everything stands and falls with the Geotab system. I'm not so sure if Anadarko actually knew what the system can do for them, but they didn't, like Luke Apple, I believe, was saying, oh, that pings every 10 seconds. That's actually not true. Geotab pings all the time. They do have live feeds. That was basically in kids' shoes back then, right? But Geotab was one of the first companies who actually did develop that, like to a stage where it was really useful. So what am I gonna say? Anadarko was set up on the so-called fleet management. So what you can do is you can get Geotab personally, private, right? But they do offer like different management plans, and there are four different types of plans. And the plans offer the same base data management, but there are some differences in the plans depending on what you want to monitor, right? So let's take a look at what there is. Hold on, I gotta go a little bit back to, where was it? So this is just the rate plans. We're getting to this in a second. So there's the base, the regulatory, the pro, and the pro plus. You can read all the different functions and in detail on their website. It's provided, all the information is on their website. I provide an overview of the significant functions, and be aware that there are many more functions and differences between the plans. As a Geotab user, you can also set up custom rules depending on what plan you have and if your vehicle does support it. And I explain more on rules, what Anadarko also set up on rules in a little bit. I should have done this a little bit different, but okay. Okay, the most significant functions of Geotab is the odometer, engine hours, engine road speed, temperature, driver seat belt, passenger seats occupied, the passenger seat belts, the fuel, the total fuel used, and so on and so on. In cognition, if you turn your engine on, off, the lights. So everything is monitored through Geotab. And also, in this case, Anadarko had all the information they needed to see when did he start his truck, what was the location, when did he stop, when did he use a seatbelt, did he use his phone. That's another rule they set up, right? So they basically had everything in a nutshell. So what else do they monitor? They monitor speeding. They monitor a driver ID. So every driver or operator in this case, so was Chris Watts, was assigned a number like the driver ID. And the ID basically was linked to that Geotab. That's a little thingy under your dashboard. And no, before the question is coming up, you cannot tamper with that. So it would give an immediate alert. You cannot unplug it. You cannot change anything. it's just impossible to tamper with that device. Right, so this is, oops, sorry. I'm so not prepared, like always. So there are the 5 pillars of fleet management. The fleet management always comes with, they monitor the safety. What's included in the safety is speeding, braking, reversing, the seat belts, and accident reduction. You see that in my car, for example, it's new. It breaks for me if somebody comes too close, or if I'm not aware enough, or if I come too close to somebody in front of me, it breaks automatically. So this system had that already in 2018. So they were pretty much advanced, right? So then the automator is the fleet, the fuel, the vehicle health. So vehicle health, like when do you do your maintenance and stuff like that. Then you have the productivity, the stop duration. That means Geotab actually knows exactly for how long you stopped where. Dispatching, the route efficiency. That means when you take a route and the system gives you basically a different route because it's more efficient. You don't have to go through a town, you don't have to brake so often, there's not so much traffic lights, so stuff like that. Sales calls, on time service. Then the compliance is HOS. I actually do not know what that is. The company policies, the state federal laws are included, and the route adherence. Then expandability is integrate parties, third-party software, so it's compatible with some other, like what was it called, that GroupMe app they used. It's compatible with Geotab, so your employer knows exactly when you take a phone call, you make a phone call, you text, all these things, right? And they give automatic alerts. Sorry, you guys, I don't see chat, but I'm getting to your questions in a second anyway. All right. So now that we know the basic functions, we can move on to dive into the details of rules and the Geotab dashboard. And all the photos I show in this presentation are free and available on the Geotab website. It's just not as easy explainable than it actually looks like, but yeah, it has so many functions, that Geotab stuff. So the dashboard, the driver, in this case Chris Watts or Troy McCoy or whoever, they do not see the dashboard. Who does see the dashboard is their foreman, in this case Luke Apple, or this other guy, I forgot already his name. So this is the dashboard you see. They can basically extract any data they want. They can even see on a live feed, where's the vehicle, what does he do, what's the position he parked in, and all these things, right? So let's go further a little bit. So this is what we see. Actually, this is what we should have seen when CBI pulled all the Geotab data. This is an example dashboard. So you can actually see when you go with your mouse over this little line, like right here, you can actually see how fast is the driver, what time, date. He did speed at 10:12. Yeah, they set that up as a rule. It's in red here. So the admin, I would say, or the guy who has access to the dashboard, can actually see in real time what did he do. So when Apple said this is pinging every 10 seconds, it's actually not true. This is pinging constantly. So they have constant information in that live feed. I don't know if they knew. I think they were pretty new to that system and did not really know what details they can actually filter out of this, right? So if you're pulling a report on Geotab, that's what I was told from an engineer working there. If you're pulling a report on Geotab, as we saw them pulling a report from Chris Watts's and Troy McCoy's Geotab, you can switch to satellite. So what we saw was actually not satellite. It was just the normal data import they did, but we could have actually get all the satellite images. As important, they import the data into a PDF file, which is important to know in this case, because the only thing we saw is a PDF file and not the actual satellite pictures or even the 24-hour live feed. So then you can set up rules. You can assign different colors to rules. You have the basic functions such as, for example, monitor speeding. So if you put that as a rule, monitor speeding, Geotab will tell you, as in the image I showed you before, exactly when does a driver speed. The exact time, date, even down to the second, it tells you everything, right? So if a driver violates the basic rule of speeding often, you can set up an additional rule for this specific driver, for example, to monitor his or her behavior in more detail. But you can also just set up rules if a driver is not violating any basic safety functions at all, for endurance reasons, for example. You can assign different colors to the different drivers. For example, driver 1 is assigned to blue and driver 2 is assigned to orange and so on. Driver 4 to whatnot, yellow. And we see that actually in Chris's and, police is going, okay. We see that actually in Chris's and Troy McCoy's Geotab. Troy McCoy is blue and Chris was assigned this yellowish, greenish color. That's just basic rules, right? What I gotta say as well is that Geotab is learning from your behavior, right? So if you often break rules, they kind of forward this as a, I would say, alert to your admin or the foreman or whoever has access to the dashboard, right? Having the basic rules included in My Geotab dashboard, you can always set additional rules to the whole fleet or a single driver. That means if, let's say, Chris Watts never is using his seatbelt, so you can set additional rules. For example, the ignition, or he cannot start the engine if he's not seatbelted, stuff like that. So as you can see, that system is really, really intelligent. And that was in 2018. So they were really, really good. So does the Go device, this is what the device, the actual device is called, register the passenger seatbelt? Applies to My Geotab, vehicles, rules, reports, and seatbelt. So the answer, the Go device does track passenger seatbelts as long as the vehicle supports it. You can also check this by setting up a custom rule for passenger seatbelts. So I obviously checked if the Ford 250 model did support the system, the rule of monitor seatbelts, and it did. But you can go to geotab.com, type in your vehicle, make and model, and then they will spit out if it's in your case also applied. Hold on, I had one interview or phone call with one of these women. I just don't know. Hold on one second.
Okay,
Yeah.
moving on to.
So she is explaining to you guys now what actually is the seatbelt rule. I just have to look where it was real quick.
We've seen.
Yeah. There you go.
Seatbelts are used much less than you would expect. By monitoring, the compliance can go from 80% to 99.8%. And this was actually from a large case study that we have. Our system is able to read seatbelt information from a lot of vehicles these days. You can see that the seatbelt support is not as vast as we saw with the odometer and the fuel. And that is a lot of the times it's relating to the actual manufacturers. Now, we actually do have an algorithm where we can detect seatbelt usage based on the data from the first few trips of the vehicle after the device was installed. So our system, it's kind of behavior based. What we're looking for is standard seatbelts use, where somebody gets in their vehicle, their seatbelt is unbuckled, they're probably either going to buckle it before they start the ignition, or they're going to start the ignition and buckle it. They're going to drive, unbuckle. So we're looking for that standard behavior of a seatbelt so that we make sure that we pick up the proper data set. We're not picking up a rear door opening or something along those lines. So it takes us a few trips for us to kind of determine the seatbelt data, and then we'll be able to provide you with that accurate information. Now, what we do is at the beginning and the end of a trip, we'll kind of reset that seatbelt information. So let's say at the beginning of a trip, we're going to see a -1 beside the seatbelts log. That means that it's reset. It's kind of in a nothing state. And then once we start to see the seatbelt data, we'll pass that through. So then we'll see, okay, well, actually it looks like the seatbelt is unbuckled. So we'll log that. And then we'll see, okay, now they've buckled it, and we'll put that log through. At the end of the trip, we'll go back to that unknown or nothing state to make sure that rules that are being created on the seatbelt data aren't coming up as inaccurate, just in case maybe the device was unplugged, mid-trip or at the end of the trip. We want to make sure that we're not looking at days worth of seatbelt unbuckled. We always want to that kind of reset state.
So as she said, Geotab is a behavioral system, and they use it, they see in the first few trips, and then Geotab basically learns your behavior. That also applies to loading, unloading your truck. And this is important in this case because Chris Watts had the same behavior, right? They set up rules in Geotab for basically when I'm at a friend's house. So he had to tell his foreman, I'm at a friend's house in case you see something weird going on in my Geotab, right? So he was aware of these rules and these things Geotab was actually to monitor. So I'm asking you guys, do you really believe when he's loading and unloading his truck, and given that Geotab is a behavioral system, this would have given an immediate alert to his foreman or to his dashboard, right? So therefore, I do not believe that he loaded anything other than his normal tools that morning. If the weight would have been over the normal he would load in the morning, then Geotab would have given an alert again to the dashboard, and we would have seen this, right? So far. All right, so it does give you, it monitors behavior for the first few trips and then sends the data to the system to create a pattern of driver behavior. System would register unusual seatbelt use. And you can see that actually also in the discovery, they are not allowed to have any passengers, right? In the interview, I believe, of Troy McCoy, or was it Chris's interview? I can't remember. He was asked, like, can you use your truck private or to move people around or something? And I believe Luke Apple said, no, they are not allowed to do this unless they tell us, I have to pick up groceries or my wife's car is in maintenance or whatever, then they can. But they're actually very limited to. and normally they're not allowed to use their work trucks for private reasons. So this is a little bit blurry. I got that from my one of the first live streams ever I did. So depending on what color you assign to a driver, it will show up the color you chose for him or her, right? So as I said, blue for McCoy it was, and this yellow greenish for Chris. And here we see actually some rules they set up directly from Anadarko, and they assigned colors to those rules as well. So if you see a purple rectangle, the rule would be he stopped. If you see a purple star, it stopped inside a zone. So he stopped inside. Let's say he went out to survey 319 and he stopped within that zone, right? Then light blue rectangle is idling, and red is backing up when leaving, and blue is custom backing up when leaving. So as you can see here in the blue, Anadarko set an additional rule to backing up when leaving. We don't know what that additional rule was, but obviously they were unsafe when backing up or backing up too fast or whatever, and it came to accidents or to bump into a different other car. It also could have been to do with they're not allowed to park so close to the tanks or to the wellhead because of the electricity and also the gas that's coming out of there. So this is, I would imagine, Anadarko setting up an additional rule of backing up when leaving. They have to go around their vehicles for a few times and check before they leave that nothing is in the way. Troy McCoy says that in his interview too. So there's that. So we know Anadarko is using Geotab. Anadarko is using the Pro or the Pro Plus plan, because the fleet management is you cannot have the fleet management under a basic plan. You have to have the Pro or the Pro Plus. Operators are not allowed to make or take phone calls during the driving. It would trigger an alert. Operators communicate via the app GroupMe, which is an internet-based cloud app. GroupMe is accessed through the operator's work phone, which is linked to Geotab. The operators have limited personal use of trucks. They must ask. Oh, yeah, and here I put it again. It's impossible to temper, turn off, or move the Geotab device. An immediate alert would be sent to the supervisor. Then let's go. We all know. Oh, John Tuckwiller. That was Luke Apple's boss. And he said he believes Geotab updates every 1 to 10 minutes even, which is not true. They have, like I explained, 24/7 or, a real-time card or map going on. And Luke states Watts told him he would be staying with a friend in case Apple saw unusual activity on his Geotab. Trucks can be used from and to work only. Geotab pulls location every 1 to 100 seconds. So, and this is what I wanted to explain to you. This is what we see, the pulled data of what's converted into a PDF file. So this is what Anadarko gave to the CBI or law enforcement. But what they actually could have done is giving them the real-time feed. So they would have known exactly where everybody was. Like I explained before, and I don't think it comes up in here, but with the locations he went to, let's say he went to survey, you have like under categories where you can see, did he back up? How the position he was parking in. I explained that in a live stream, and I have to check where it was. I don't think I prepared that for today. but I can go back to that as well if you guys want. So they have basically under categories. As you can see here, this is, remember, the stopped, the idling, stopped inside a zone, custom backing up, and this is what it actually would look like. So this is McCoy, and the yellow is Chris. This was at survey 319, and as you can see here, I told you before, it wasn't Chris parking close to the wellhead. It was actually McCoy. So he put down and drew his car rather than Chris's. It also shows you the little arrows exactly on what direction you're coming and going. So we know that Chris went this way, then backed up towards the tanks, then went back, and then went back into this position. So it's not true what Troy McCoy says that Chris Watts was actually parked like this. It was him parking like this. And they have a light blue rectangle. That means they idled. And this gave an alert. Same here. So they stopped within a zone quite a few times. Then here, Chris went out. Oh, you can see that. Chris went out into the field, backed off. You know, here's the little blue. Oh, can I make this even bigger? I don't think I can. No, it will show up. Well, on the bottom, where the yellow line goes into the field, you can see an example of he backed up when leaving, you know, and also the rule applied when he backed up. The custom rule applied at survey 1029. I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say. Oops. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, there you go. So you can actually see a lot on the geotab. See, and this is what you see on the right. This is what we could have seen in real time when they pulled the data, but unfortunately they only pulled stills. I mean, I don't know, maybe they did pull that and just didn't show us, right? We don't know, but this, what you see here, is what we could have actually seen. And here you see the backed up, idling, backed up, idling. So he was actually driving backwards at survey 1029. And this is when he was not getting out of his truck at all. The truck was still running, and he took those sunflower pictures of the field, if you guys remember. Oh man, I really gotta start from the from the start, I think. Okay, we had that. Yeah, it's a bit blurry now that I took this from a previous live stream, but here you see the geotab basically in columns, and here you see Chris's. This up here is Troy's, where I was wondering always why they even pulled Troy's, you know. I think they didn't believe him. The crap was what he was telling in his interview and whatsoever. So this is why I believe that they pulled his geotab too. So what you see here is what we all saw, right? That he stopped at Saratoga Trail, then he stopped at Black Mesa. But you gotta keep in mind that if they would have clicked, for example, on the column where it says stopped for 4 minutes at Black Mesa, click on that, then an under category will be opened. So we would have known exactly what he did when stopping at Black Mesa. We would know, did he leave the vehicle? Did he leave the vehicle running? We would have known all these things, but unfortunately they did not click on that column where it says, you know, stopped at Black Mesa. So I have no clue what he did there. No clue. So here you can see the rule of idling, the rule of backing up when leaving applied and immediately it gave an alert, right? And you would think that he would have buckled the kids in, wouldn't he? At least, I mean, to prevent triggering an alert or something. I don't know, but keep in mind it's a behavioral system. So if you don't have passengers, you normally wouldn't buckle them in, right? The only thing I don't know for sure is if Geotab monitors weight on the back seats. That I don't know. But it obviously does, because it monitors the seat belts, right? And if there's no weight, like we see here when they towed the truck in, or I believe that's a picture even from the garage where it was later on sold, the seat belts are plugged in. But I don't know if that would cause a normal behavior rule kind of thing, or if that's not a normal thing to do, right? So that's the only thing basically I cannot answer. So here again, what's in yellow, but I have to go through this in detail in a different live stream, I believe, because then I'm going to show you the under categories. I just wanted to give you an overview of what Geotab actually can and cannot do. And before the question is coming up, no, it does not record voices or anything. So I specifically asked that as well in the Geotab community, but no, they're not allowed to. I mean, it would be certainly possible, I think, like with every device, right? But they are saying, just like Amazon says, Alexa doesn't record, right? So we don't know. But yeah, they do say that it's impossible for them to record anything. All right, that was the first thing about Geotab. I'm going to read up on your, oh my God, Amy, thank you so much. We will never truly know what happened with this tragedy, but thank you, teacher, for bringing as much light to this evil. You're very welcome. Exactly. No extra weight was registered in Cow's work truck. No way Shanann was loaded into it. NK sold her Forerunner like immediately. That's what transported Shanann. Yeah, I believe that too, actually. I do not believe that. And also, hold on. I'm gonna show you this because it came up recently. That just bear 1 minute with me. I'm not organized, but yeah. I'm going to show you something because the question came up recently that he could have gotten all these toolboxes out of the truck bed, right? But then I took a closer look and I came to the conclusion that it wasn't actually toolboxes. It was gas storage for, I'm just looking for those images of his work truck, actually. I'm missing one, I believe. Is that it? Yeah, I can show you this one real quick. Thank you, Geraldine. Thank you so much for your support. Gonna just show you this real quick. So, can you guys see that? So, these are not toolboxes. These are storage for gas and gasoline. Right? And this hose, for whatever it is, I have no clue. All these hoses go into those containers, right? Here. And here's another thing where a hose goes in. But I can actually show you another picture. Maybe you can see it better yeah, I think that one is better, just to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. Just real quick. So this is his work truck, right? So do you see those little red thingies? And here as well. And I do not have the other picture. There were 3 images I took or were released in the digital discovery, but I think I can find that so quickly. So yeah. So these are not toolboxes, you guys. You know, these are actual storage for gas, or I'm not sure what it is, but these hoses, you see that in that picture I'm missing perfectly, that the hose is going into these 2 thingies here. Storage for gas, or I have no clue for what, but it's definitely no toolboxes. Maybe I do have that somewhere. Let me just have a real quick look, because if I don't show you, I can't sleep. I have so many pictures, and it's hard to look for that one out of 10,000 of pictures. But I mean, I hope you get the idea of what could have been in those. Some people are saying the girls might have been even put in those toolboxes. And I was thinking, this is not even far-fetched, right? So I was taking a closer look at these storage or boxes, and yeah, then I saw that these are no toolboxes, so you cannot just open and shut them, right? And Chris's work truck, I believe, was also gas operated, like that, half gas, um half gasoline kind of thing. They all were, I believe, but I can't find it now. No, but you guys can look it up in the discovery, it's in there, and I just don't want to. Right. So I hope you guys did get what I was saying regarding the geotab. I can pull up that in detail as well. Just I thought I'd bring it up and explain it again, just the basics. So because this question is always coming up, people having trouble to understand what geotab is all about. All right, then let's get to the second question. Do you believe the shadow walking out of the garage is actually Bella? No, I do not believe that the shadow is Bella, simply because it just does not represent the shadow of a child. We don't see a head, we don't see arms stretching out or arms being down here, even if she walked out like a sedated kind of, I don't know. I do not see a child. Dawn was actually saying, this is after a subscriber of mine forwarded me the light bulbs, the what and the light bulb, what kind of light bulbs they had. So, and then Dawn came to the conclusion this shadow is caused by somebody in the garage. So no, I do not believe. What was the reason that he confessed, quote unquote, to the girls being alive? And I think that just fit the narrative, that fit the DA's narrative, that if they say, oh, the girls were alive, first of all, they eliminated Shanann from being the one responsible, which I don't believe anyways that Shanann did anything. And second of all, it just fits the narrative, right? It fits him unaliving the girls, and that the girls were still alive when he went out to survey, which I do not believe. I believe like I said before in previous live streams, I do believe that he went out Survey or somewhere else. I don't know where, but I do not believe that the girls were alive on Monday morning. I believe he got rid of them on Sunday after the party. And we always got to keep in mind that we only have breadcrumbs, as Don used to say, but I don't see why they would temper or leaving out things in his router log. So the router log basically tells us his whole movement for the weekend, right? So yeah, I do not believe that the shadow was a little girl. I don't know what you guys believe, but I don't know. But I believe NK was involved and some of co-workers. Yeah, I do too. Not many co-workers. I have one specific co-worker in mind, but I definitely do too. So no, I do not believe that this. I don't actually believe that ever some technician or forensics or whatever or video guy did ever look at this footage again. Because if they did in the first place, I believe that they saw that. And it just fit the DA's narrative. So, oh yeah, if he says so, then yeah, we just go with it. They didn't, I don't believe that they did ever look at this footage again, ever. But that's just my personal opinion. And also we know that CW tells you what you want to hear, right? And so in his interview, he states, oh, isn't there a video? Right? So he knows about a video. Yeah. A video of him or of the girl showing, or a girl coming out of the garage. But we all do know that this confession is total bullshit, and that he actually had that from a former pen pal, because she described her dream she had about the events, and he just picked up on this. So no, I do not believe, like I said 100 times, that this is Bella walking out. All right, another question that came up a lot. So I have my top fives, but I didn't want to be going live for too long, so I just picked 3. Can you explain Shanann's phone? I will do that too. So I'm gonna stop my camera. Why doesn't law enforcement show in recovery the weight of the truck when Chris leaves home? I'd love to know weight. This would eliminate speculation. Exactly, Kimberly, exactly. Like I said, I don't believe that they knew what weapon they basically had with Toyota. I don't believe they knew that, and it's evident with Luke Apple or this other guy saying, it pings every 10 seconds. No, it doesn't. You have a 24, a real live feed, right? Okay, showing Shanann's phone. And then I'm going to show you something after that. Okay, where do I have Shanann's phone? Give me 1 second. I can only open one presentation after another. And then I'm going to show you at the end of this, we're going to get into something that's not bothering me, but I think this person needs to be called out. And I'm normally not doing this. I'm not into drama, but I just want my subscribers and my members to see what I have to put up with in the background. So yeah, be waiting for that. So hold on. Give me 1 second, please, you guys. Where was it? Here you go. All right. So back in 2021, I made a live stream about Shanann and the movements and Chris's movements and the climbing of stairs and climbing of her stairs and when she fell asleep and all these things, right? And somebody thought it was a good idea to steal that from me. And they also stole when they presented it as absolute amazing discovery. They also thought they're gonna steal the mistake I made as well, you know, and that basically, caught them. I'm not gonna be talking about who did this, but you guys know who did this. Absolutely not relevant, but I thought I'm gonna say that anyway. Where is it? Here it is. All right. So it's called The Last Movements, No Flights Climbed at Survey 319. And I gotta admit, when I was watching that person stealing my content, and seeing that this person was also stealing the little mistake I made, I was quite amused. And I did on my channel tell you guys that it is possible still that he went up there, because all we have of his data climbing stairs is one phone, but we don't have the data from the other. We only see his personal phone did not climb any stairs, but we cannot be sure of his work phone because we don't have that data, right? So that person who stole my content did never elaborate on why we don't have his other work phone data. All right. I'm not going to go through his phone stuff. Obviously, we know all this unless you guys want me to, and I can make another live stream on this. But here it says, hold on 1 sec. Right. So this is item 42. Item 42 was Shanann's personal phone. And we take a look at her step count first. So on August the 12th at approximately 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., Shanann was on the flight to Denver. Hence, she had no to little movement. And I'm gonna jump in right away and tell you guys something about the Apple Watch. If she had her Apple Watch is syncing constantly data with your phone. So every day, all the data you have on your phone, you automatically have on your watch and vice versa. So for people saying she had her watch or her watch was moving, or no, just no. Because if her watch was moving or somebody would have taken her watch and driving around and I cannot personally explain why what was her name? Amanda Thayer said she got a message saying I'm driving. But I believe that this was when Baumhofer actually took her phone in and was around with her phone, walking around or driving to the police station. I do not believe that at this point they had any of her data of her watch or her watch was moving or whatsoever. If it was, we would see it right here. but we don't see a thing. So her watch was definitely not around, and nobody was running around with her watch. I do believe personally that her watch was off. All right, so she was on her flight to Denver, hence no too little movement. On August the 13th, from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., the walking distance was just over 0.2 miles, so it's not a lot. And from obviously, because she gets out of the plane, she walks straight through the gate to NA's car and they drive. So that's very little movement, right? And from 2 a.m., there was no movement at all. Why do we know that there was no movement? Because the phone tells you your last movement. So here again, she had quite a few steps this day on the 12th, over 4,000 steps. This might seem a lot. I mean, a normal work day, I do like 25,000 steps. But for her being, in a hotel, going, probably taking a taxi or an Uber or a Lyft to the airport. And so for her, in this situation on that day where you basically do nothing other than going to the airport, it's a lot of steps. And from August the 13th, from the time, so basically midnight up until she got home, she took 1,581 steps. So that's not a lot, to be honest. You have 1,500 steps like in no time. So there was absolutely no movement from 2 a.m. until Shanann's phone was found and turned on. Baumhofer then took Shanann's phone and it was processed. So the data was downloaded. And it's a shame that we don't have the same for Chris's. So yeah. So on Sunday, her phone tells us a lot. Shanann took 3,792 steps, that equals 1.4 miles walking distance, counted until she boarded her flight. Exact time she sat down in her seat on the plane was 10:55. Why do I know that? Because the step counter stopped. So at 10:55, a minute or two or five, she boarded the plane and she was in her seat at 10:55 p.m. So that's what the data tells us. She sat down and no movement or no steps were detected. It's a shame, like I said, that we don't have this exact thing for Chris's both phones. It would tell us so much, but I do believe that there is a reason they wouldn't tell us this, right? I'm sorry, you guys, I can't see chat, but I'm going back to your shows our phones watches also used for control. Yeah, probably. Okay, I see you don't have any questions yet. Okay. Okay, so exact time she sat down, 10:55. Exact time she woke up on that day was 6:20 a.m. Why do I know that? Because the exact time Shanann slept for was 6 hours and 21 minutes. The exact time Shanann went to sleep, on August the 11th, was 11:59 p.m. on August 11th, and that was still when she was in Arizona. So all this we can extract and calculate from little that's been given, right? So I really want to have all this data because this is right up my alley and I want to dig into this, but yeah, we unfortunately only have this to work with. So that's very unfortunate, but it's a lot. They give us a lot. I personally do not believe, because questions were asked, yeah, did they manipulate the data or something? I don't think so. I also don't believe that they manipulated any video footage or anything. Like Dawn did a great video where he actually, with algorithm and pixels and stuff like that, he shows you exactly how to find out if a video was tampered with, and he came up with the conclusion that it wasn't. All right. So August the 13th, 1,581 steps, counting from when she last sat down on the plane, right? 10:53 p.m. That makes 0.58 miles in total until last movement. So 0.58 miles, 1,500 steps, not a lot at all. Not a lot at all. And then we go further. So Shanann climbed 3 floors at 1:51 a.m. And this is what I have to re-explain. All right. This doesn't mean that Shanann climbed 3 floors exactly at 1:51. These are the floors she climbed up until 1:51 a.m. Okay? So that doesn't mean she didn't climb 3 sets of flights in her house, but that doesn't also mean she didn't do that at the airport, right? I don't know. I'm not familiar with Denver Airport since I've never been there. And I heard that they refurbished anyway, so the gates are different now. I don't know, does she have to walk stairs? I don't know these things. But what I know is that from midnight, August the 13th, so from basically 1 minute after midnight, up until she came home, she climbed 3 sets of stairs or 3 floors. The iPhone counts approximately 13 steps as 1 flight of stairs. So according to that calculation, she climbed at least 39 stairs, which would equal 13 steps per stairs, so 3 floors. Her movement stopped at exactly 1:51 a.m. Why do we know that? It's because everything stopped in her phone. There was no steps, no activity, no floors. The sleep counter stopped. It basically stopped everything at 1:51 a.m. The hair products she was supposedly ordering, she didn't do that physically. Like, she didn't visit a website and sat in her bed and said, oh, I'm gonna order some hair care products, where her credit card was declined. You remember that, guys? That was an automated payment. So she did subscribe to some sort of, what you can subscribe to. What I'm subscribed to HelloFresh, for example, right? And they send you these food packages all the time, and they take the money of your credit card, like in a certain interval, like every 4 weeks, or like whenever you set it up to be taken. And this is what she did. So she did not physically order any hair care products or hair dye or what it was, right? Her movement and everything on her phone stopped exactly at 1:51 a.m., meaning that explains also why she did not participate in the group chat, and she did not read the last message Nicole Atkinson was sending in their group chat of "We are home." She did not see that anymore. So everything that happened that night happened pretty quickly. So within 2 minutes or 3 minutes of Shanann coming home. This could be also 1:51 and 59 seconds. We don't know. The iPhone does not give us the exact detail of timestamp, but if it's 1:51 and 59 seconds, it will still count as 1:51. So we cannot sure if it was actually 1:52, but it definitely was stopped at 1:51 a.m. Right? So, what is that? Is that going up? Ah, this is the oil tanks, right? So this data, as I explained earlier, we do not see Chris Watts climbing any steps in the morning. One thing is for sure, he did not climb upstairs to the bedroom either, right? So this explains this. So going up the oil tanks, step count would be 23 steps per flight. CW claimed to have been going up with Cece, then down to get Bella, then up again and back down again, which would have been 92 steps in total. His phone or watch would have 100% register flights climbed. If he had this particular phone, I can't even remember if it was his work phone or his personal phone, it would have shown definitely any flights climbed. So in total, he climbed 11 floors. And it's evident that he climbed one floor exactly when he came home, and another 2 sets or 3 sets of flights when he came back from Nate's. And we all see him going upstairs, downstairs, upstairs when he came back from Nate's because they were running errands. Yeah. So, but we only have, like I said, the data from this phone. So please do not be fooled by anyone telling you that it is impossible that he didn't climb any flights of stairs. It's still possible. The thing is, we only have data from one phone. If it would show the other phone of him not climbing any stairs, that would be a different story. Then I would say, all right, it's definitely proven that he did not go up those tanks. But like I said, we gotta stay to the facts and stay to the truth. And what we have is telling us that he didn't, right? But we do not have his other phone data that detailed. Another thing is, people are saying, oh, he could have put his phones in the work truck or left it somewhere. No, that's not possible because he has steps counted, but no flights of stairs, right? So if he did put down his phone in the work truck or somewhere, there wouldn't be any steps counted, but there was. So this theory is out the window as well. So here's the little movement. I'm just going to go through real quick. That's item 41. It's his personal phone, 4 a.m. Very little movement, 5 a.m. But as you can see here on the 12th, right? I do believe that he wasn't at home. This is what I believe, because they tell us in his interview that about the motion detectors and the order in which they gave an alert. So I do not believe that he was upstairs at all until 4:26, until basically the basement door opened. I do believe that he went out the window like he did several times before, came back through the window, and went basically upstairs to open the basement door. And this is when he came home. My personal feeling, according to the data provided. So he did have a lot of steps, like shortly after 12 a.m. And also he did have steps when Shanann got home, right? It slowed down at approximately 4, and then so on, so on. So 6, 7, 8, not many steps, then a little bit more, 9, 10, 11, and so on. And it decreases in steps when he comes home. How do we know that? We have his geotab, and we see that most of the time he was out at Survey and out at Survey 1029, where they met up with Cody Roberts. Most of the time he was sitting in his truck or taking pictures or being on the phone and so on and so on. And this is the reason why you do not see many steps, right? But increasing in steps when he came home, obviously. So yeah, this is what we went through already. Personal phone, no flights, and that's Shanann's phone. As you can see here, is no movement. Up until 3-ish, this is when when Baumhofer took her phone walking around. So she had a few steps here when she get home. Then there was no movement whatsoever. And then movement starts again when her phone was turned on. Yeah, so that's it explaining Shanann's phone. What are your questions? 1:51 a.m. is 7 minutes before she walks in her front door, and then phone stops again at 1:58 a.m. 1:58? No, it stops at 1:51. So 3 minutes or 4 minutes, given that we don't have the detailed timestamp, but 3-4 minutes after she walks in. I was wondering how many flights of stairs she had to climb down at Denver Airport. That would have been interesting. But we don't have this data, unfortunately. Alrighty. I want to read you guys something. I I'm not gonna be telling the name of this person either, but I was like quite shocked. I don't know why somebody would say this and keep adding to an already disturbing case. But I'm gonna read you that comment, and it really did shock me when I read it. So this was 5 days ago on my autopsy video of Bella. The person states, "Why isn't it mentioned about her arm falling off? When the team pulled her out of the tank, it was reported her skin fell off and her arm was detached." It really did shock me when I read that, on how misinformed people are. Like they just absorbing everything that comes to them. I don't understand why somebody would, with no word I have ever stated in any of my live streams or videos that, okay, skin slippage, all right, this is all in the autopsy report. But why would somebody say her arm was detached? See, this is what I mean with misinformation is being spread. One is starting, the other one reads it, doesn't know anything about the case either, and then it spreads. Oh, her arm was detached. Next thing we know, her head was detached. This is just, it's just no good. So you guys, please, even if you're new to the case, this would have come out immediately, in the sentencing hearing, in everywhere, that when they were talking about the injuries, which I do believe that the injuries of Bella happened when she was stuffed in those tanks, right? But that's just me. But why would somebody do this? Adding you gotta always keep in mind, and I'm not talking to you guys, I'm talking to the new people that are in this case. You gotta always keep in mind that these are real people we're talking about. These are, I mean, that case is horrible as it is, but why would you add this? You know, even if you misunderstood something, you know, just rather ask, or watch Netflix, or watch YouTube creators, or, you know, read the autopsy for yourself. But don't make things up like her arm was detached. No, her arm was not detached. Where the hell would you get that from, right? I just wanted to show you that this is how misinformation is spreading like wildfire, because people are jumping on this stuff. You know, they think, oh, it's new, and then they keep investigating. Oh, and the next person comes up, yeah, her arm was detached. Bull crap, honestly. Right? Okay. Any questions regarding Geotab, the phone, or anything? Like the Koberger case, exactly. The Koberger case. This is just media madness. I mean, if this guy, innocent until proven guilty, okay? And this is in every country the same thing. But I don't understand why the government or people who have, I mean, okay, the freedom of speech in media is a highly up law. They can basically report about everything. But and I gotta say this again, people like Ashley Banfield, yeah, if I even see this woman, I know for a fact that she is into something. Like she's a drama magnet. She's a, you know, I don't know. And these people are going with this, and it's not good. It's just not good. And this woman spread misinformation with the Watts case. I know everything about, you know, Trent Bolt and lawsuits going on and stuff like that, where she was involved. And I just stop it already with that crap. I mean, innocent until proven guilty. I don't know if he really did this. I don't know if he had any help, which I'm thinking he had. But, you know, people are clinging on to, oh my God, he sold something on eBay 10 years ago. Things like that. What has this to do with the case? Nothing. And this is where I'm getting tired of watching these things, you know, because it just does my head in, honestly. I'm not saying, you know, that I'm never wrong, or, you know, not at all. But it's these stupid things people just jump on, and first and foremost, the media. Like in the Watts case, the same thing. You know, the media was first to spread the BS. Like, you gonna hear something different on the news. He confessed to knowing where they were, but yeah. See, same thing. Same thing. And then you really think that people don't think you're suspicious? Come on, give me a break. Speaking of SR, it does make it suspicious to me. I don't know why my hair looks yellow in the slide. But that just aside. All right. I want to show you something that just so you guys see what in the last, I would say, 3 months, and this is a personal thing for me. I was thinking a long time if I would show you this, and I have decided that I will. for approximately 2 or 3 months, I'm getting attacked. And thank God my moderators are so quick that sometimes they filter out comments and stuff that I don't even see. So I never get to know what was going on. For my sanity, I believe, but also, no, let's put it differently. You think because a person appears strong on the internet and strong in their personal life, that they don't think about things you do. You think that. And like I said, I was thinking a long time of even publicizing these things. And this is not the only thing, but I want to show you one comment, specifically one comment that really made me think if people actually have lost their minds. I would lie if I say I don't care, because I do care, and I wouldn't say it hurts me, because it doesn't, but it does something to you if a person approaches you like this. And it's just, I'm just gonna show you. Give me 1 second, pull it up. I'm not quite sure if I should even read it out loud. I've also decided to show that person's name, because it was on my channel, everything is public. And this person obviously wanted, I'm not gonna give this person any clout or so, but I just wanted you guys to see this. There you go. Jezebel's brown bikini. And it says right here, it's a Chris thing or something like that. It says, "Hi TJ, just want you to know I was a subscriber to your channel. I've never seen that person, ever. And this is also the things, they all coming out of the woodwork. And I do not mind criticism at all, Of course, I want to be always right, but this is my personality. But I discuss things, and if I'm wrong, I admit it. I've never saw this person, and yeah, like I said, these people are coming out of the woodwork, and they all start off with the same sentence. They say, "I'm a long-time supporter of yours, and I'm a subscriber to your channel for a long time. But how comes that I don't know these people?" Right? But I have since learned that what a real narcissistic bee you are. I can only hope your children see you for what you are and go in another direction, as I wouldn't like to see our future generation growing up with traits like yours. You're a coward, a stirrer, and a huge troublemaker who gets other people to do dirty work. You haven't the balls to do yourself. Who trained you in that department? Or does it just come natural like a fart out your arse? I have been watching channels where your mod, who you have hired, is going around dealing as if they are that positive about what they say. Tell them, show their face. You are turning into an old Frankie Rusek Jr. You're a effing house in the ones your dirty work, for you are no better. You are the scum of the earth. I honestly thought I'm not saying this person's name, was dead. yeah. So this is what I've been confronted with, followed by, and I'm not gonna show that because there are email addresses on that. Wishing my grandfather was in a cardboard box. Wishing my children be art, and so I feel how it feels like. Wishing me dead. Yeah, and stuff like that. Like I said, I thought about this a long time, if I even want to show this, but I think it's important. And I don't have to say anything to this person. I don't, because I'm not narcissistic in any way, shape, or form. I dedicated my life for other people, and try to help and do what I can. I'm only human. Sometimes I fail, but that's normal. To compare me to that most horrible person that was responsible for the death of millions of innocent people is, in my opinion, not the right approach. Nor is this person, Jezebel Brown Bikini, smart. It's just disgusting. And I'm not showing you this, guys, only because it concerns me personally. I'm also gonna be showing you guys this because this is what hundreds, thousands, millions of other people receive too, right? And I just want to say this before I close this chapter of my life. And yeah, I just want to say this to this person. Get a grip. Think about yourself and what you are writing to other people. It could very well be that a message like this is getting to a person that is mentally not that stable as I am. That this message is getting to people who, cannot deal with it. And this is causing more than a little bit of sadness. I think it's disgusting, the approach. I think you should have come to me. My email is publicly available. And try to tell me your opinion about me. Not that it matters. I am me. I am my own person. I have my own personality. I know that I'm sometimes, like Dawn calls me, kettle, because I'm, but if I'm determined and if I want something, I go and just get it. And this also means, that I'm sometimes rough. But anyway, I just want to tell this person, Brown Bikini, stick it. I would, like I said, I would lie if it wouldn't get to me. But if you put this message towards somebody who is not that stable, then I don't know what happened, what will happen, or what could happen, right? This is just an example of the world gone mad. Why are people like this to each other? I see that every day. Like, I want to be better. I want to have more clicks. I want to be the biggest TikTok star. I want to be number one on Instagram. I want to be this. I want to be that. I'm not that person. And if you think you can get to me with saying I'm a narcissist, you don't even know me. You're not a long-time supporter or a subscriber of my channel, because if you was, you knew how I am. You know, I'm not different. Well, I do. I am a little bit different in private. I do swear, of course. You know, if I want something, I'm determined. Like I said, I want to be always right. This is just my personality. But I also have the balls to admit when I'm wrong, or admitting when I, went over the edge, or say, you know what, that was really shitty of me to say that. I'm sorry. But yeah, like I said, these people are coming out of the woodwork for like 2-3 months now, and trying to, and I was compared with this and I'm starting to think if this is the same person, probably, because I'm compared, maybe because I'm from Germany, I don't know, but I'm compared to this HITLER person a lot. I mean, yeah, and that just makes me think, maybe, just maybe this is the same person doing this or writing this. You wouldn't believe how many fake accounts my moderators fished out of everything. And, yeah, like I said, I would lie if I say it doesn't hurt me, but it makes me think, And when it comes to my children, I'm very protective. My daughter is doing her exams in 3 languages, in 4 languages. That's Spanish, that's German, that's French, and that's English. I think I did pretty good. My son is joining a massive football team. That's the what is it called in English? That's the team you go before you go into like paid football. They have good grades. They're quiet children, but they also not afraid to tell or to state their opinion. They're good in school. They're not out drinking. They don't use any drugs. I think I did pretty good, right? And I do hope that they gonna go in the direction I am going, or I went, Maybe I did not achieve everything I wanted in my life, but I will support my children with everything they want to do. So for this person to say, I hope they go in a different direction. Oh yeah, they are going in a different direction. I want to be always joining law enforcement, and I never did it. But my daughter is going in the direction of architecture and renewable resources. And I think that's good. I think they're pretty good. They're doing good, even though they go in a different direction. But yeah, I think I did good. And yeah, like I said, this person doesn't get to me because I know it's all lies. Yeah, but this is what you can do to people, words, what's said is said, what's done is done. These people are not thinking about these things they're doing. That's the sad part. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys. Not in a good place. No, absolutely not. But, that doesn't justify to, first of all, telling a person you're a narcissist, you don't even know me. I might have some kind of narcissistic traits because I always, I work to get what I want. Of course, everybody does. I think that person has a very, very low self-esteem, is probably somebody in a group. Also, I don't think that's a person thinking of their own. Yeah, but so be it, right? Let's pray for this person. All right. Oh my God, Annie, thank you so much. And Stacy, thank you so much. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that not everything is all glitter on YouTube, you know. Colorado native here. Hi, Adele. Many times in DIA, flights of stairs. Off the plane to a set of escalators, 2 flights down to a train that takes you your baggage and customer pickup. Oh, that's great information. Thank you for that. So there are no flights. Escalators there are. Oh, maybe she, I do that all the time. When I'm at an escalator, I never stand still. I always go up or down. Another thing regarding her steps and flights, I noted that here on my smart piece of paper. Back in 2018, the iPhone had the ability to count flights down. But as Jeff told me, it wasn't available in the data. So we can be sure, because we were thinking in the start, maybe she went up, down, up. That would make 3 sets of flights. But back into, they do now, the iPhones with the new updates. But back then in 2018, the iPhone did count that kind of like in the background, but it didn't have the ability to show in the data. So yeah, this was what I was noting in my notes, what I wanted to tell you as well. All right. This person who sent that is mentally unstable. They're carrying that evil around and they are paying the piece of their hatred. Yeah. There's a special reason. Oh, of course, I'm interested in drama too. I want to know what's going on in the world, but I think that has no place on YouTube or any social media platforms. I learned my lesson with YouTube ever since last year, February. And I just don't want to involve in this. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says about me. I don't care. If I'm dragged, I don't care. I don't want to know. Of course I want to know, but I don't care. These people have nothing better to do than putting drama first. And this is just not what I'm about. I tell you when I'm suspicious of something, like with everybody says, oh, leave Sandra Rutek alone. Well, she is suspicious to me, but what can I do? She is suspicious to me. What she did act, do I go out there and say, or attack her or no, I wouldn't. That's just my personal opinion. She is suspicious. She has suspicious behavior. Nobody in their right mind would know they put the kids in oil, the watch, calling the school and things like that. If there was I'm always going for the simplest explanation there is, but I cannot find any explanation on this. So as much as I dig, so for that, this is suspicious behavior and that makes her suspicious to me. As simple as that. Try not to let this get you down. This person sits in obscurity with most likely fake accounts to hopefully rattle you, as you have proved so much in this case. Keep doing what you do. Thank you so much, Maggie. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, these people always come in groups Although, compared to that age person, I do believe that this might have been actually one in the 1%. But I don't know for sure. It's just obvious that they all come with the same thing in the start. I'm a longtime supporter of yours. Well, if you're a longtime supporter of mine, I interact with my members. Even though I don't see the chat, but I know you guys from the name, even if we don't talk on a daily basis or something, I do know your names. And people like that I never saw ever. I'm no bashing, and I think you know that, but I always said from the start I had a crutch wheelchair for longer distances, but she hadn't a clue, and I watched her friends. I put her first. Okay, I don't really know what this comment is referring to. Human, and we're all human beings, all of us, I'm forgiving. I'm a forgiving person, but I do not forget. I do not forget. I never will bring it up if you make a mistake or something, and I'm a quite quiet person if it comes to things I know. And I would never, even if you're an enemy or something, I would never release anything like that of stuff I know. But yeah, it's disgusting. How do you think CW and company was going to handle SW's phone, lack of movement, text messages, etc.? How could they plan so much and fail to have a plan for her phone? Well, I do think that they probably didn't count on, Nicole Atkinson being there so quick, police being called, even though he says, they're trying to set me up, or they setting me up, or something like that, right? But I do believe, first of all, that that wasn't Shanann's final resting place. I don't know what was on his mind, or in his mind, what he's going to do, because he wanted to go back to work so bad, right? And this should tell us something right there. Why would he want to go back so bad? And we know that this wasn't his actual route or environment to work. He was rather in the Fort Lupton area and stuff. So, except that one time in July on the 7th or 8th, I believe, he was twice out survey, and never since then, and they all knew. These tanks were first, I believe, in 2005 planned to be dried out and abandoned, and they knew this. So regarding her phone, I believe it was just off. Her phone was just off. When they turned, in the discovery, it states when they turned her phone on, it had over 50% battery, 55 or 53%, I believe. So one of them had to turn the phone off, right? Unfinished business. Yeah. Thank you, Mercy Joke. You're a darling. Thank you. Yeah, it's not like that I only get these hate messages and comments and stuff. I get 99% nice comments and nice messages, and I have absolutely amazing conversations with you guys. It takes me a while to get back to you when you send me emails, but I do have what I believe a very, very intelligent and very, very, informative people around me, like you guys and my mods and my friends, and, even my family. Am I back? Sorry, my internet was gone for a second. Yeah, I think we are all very intelligent people, and we should help together, right? Alrighty. What else is there to say? Do you think SR was involved, or did she use what CW and co-conspirator had put in place to capitalize on it? But why did she call school first? Well, we don't know if she was the one calling school. This could have been anyone. You know, she admitted, a subscriber actually told me and directed me to a video. Oh, I cannot even tell you from who that was. But Mrs. Rusek was somewhere in the comments or on panel. I can't even remember. It's just such a long time ago. Directed me to that video where she actually said she called the school twice, and that was 11-ish and then at 3-ish. But she never said anything about 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. So we do not know for a fact, other than what the school person says, obviously. But anyone could have called and says, I'm Shanann's mom. Anyone. We don't know if that actually was her. I mean, to say, don't tell anyone I called, I don't know why she would do that. But we also know that she told Chris to not speak to the media if this is a kidnapping. So I don't know. Involved, I don't know. But I do think they do capitalize on it. Absolutely. They do absolutely capitalize. Like their GoFundMes and taking people to court where there is no court. And, I'm not involved in this really, and I don't follow what they do because I do not really care. Honestly, I don't. I just know that they must have a lot of money through their GoFundMes and stuff. And I don't know why you would tell the whole wide world you're taking somebody to court with no basis at all. And it takes you like 100 grand or 75 or what they need to take somebody to court. I mean, overseas it is expensive, but I don't know. I don't know. I just cannot see that being that expensive to take somebody to court. I mean, you rather take Google or YouTube for that money, and not an individual. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that they do capitalize on it, but that's their thing, that's just their thing. Oh, all right. They did not want it to ping, and they could no longer turn it on, I guess. Could be. Yeah, he did not know her PIN code, right? She changed it. That's a good question, Sugar Beet. I wonder why SW felt that changing her passcode was necessary. Maybe because too many people had access to her phone, or maybe NA had access to her phone. I don't know. I don't know. We are the best. Yes. Didn't they all have Apple phones? Wouldn't CW and NK both have had the update? So they should have known it was charged. CW and NK both have had the update. So they should have known it was charged. You mean CW and Shanann, not NK. I don't know if they linked their phones together. You can actually do that, I know, but I don't think they actually linked, because on my phone, and I don't even know if it was available back in 2018, I would have to ask. But on my phone, I can actually see what my kids are doing. And this is not a like a parents thing. It's if you use the same Apple ID, you so if my kids download a game, for example, a gaming app, I see that on my phone too. So I don't think that Shanann and Chris's phone were linked through their Apple ID, because then Shanann would have basically had everything. And she would obviously, like everyone would do that in a suspicious situation, would have obviously checked. Sounds like it though by the attitude. Oh, you don't have to mention. I called it excuse me for caring. Oh, yeah. Excuse me for caring, and don't tell anyone. My number one in the case, Lady Sarah, is Chris Watts. Just remember the little video intro I showed you. I just don't believe that Chris Watts is telling you what you want to hear. As simple as that. He even answers your questions with the same questions you answered, you wrote, if that makes sense, right? Like Shanann, for example, something about the kids. What was it? You only stay with me because of the kids, and he answers, I'm not only staying with you because of the kids. And does that make sense? He doesn't even know what to say, so he's just answering according to what you wrote. And this is how and we see that throughout. I don't even think this guy has a mind of his own, to be honest. I believe the Apple update made SW change her passcode from a 4-digit to a 6. That could be Maggie. Yeah. The update. Could be. Right. Oh, I wanted to show you something else. Where do I have it? Or am I go... Oh, I think I go through this next time with you. CW can't talk even to law enforcement unless Rourke says so. CW would break the plea agreement if he says anything. Right. I think so too. I mean, it just makes me feel horrible for his parents. I mean, everybody really deserves to know what really went on, and he gives them little bits and pieces like they are nothing, and this just makes me mad because I think they do deserve like everyone else does, right? It's their son, of course. I believe, or I have the feeling that he is more concerned about the Ruseks. I mean, okay, well, he killed their daughter, right? So there is some sort of guilt towards Shanann's parents. But still, I have the feeling he's more connected with them than with his parents. And maybe, the thing where it's evident is, the Ruseks, they knew about bankruptcy and all that stuff that's been going on with them personally, while the Watts family did not know anything. And they learned after the fact that there was even a bankruptcy after everything happened, right? So I don't know. Yeah, craziest plea agreement I've ever seen. You guys gotta watch my live stream on Did Chris Watts Know That or something like that a few weeks ago. It's pretty interesting. Alrighty. I think it's his way of guarding his innermost thoughts. I think he's ashamed that he got wed to a cheater, someone who did not respect him, who didn't really bring in any money, and he can't face it. Yeah, that's also a possibility. Well, I mean, a great possibility. Yeah. His parents are at least the ones who know how poorly he did with his choices and acted so proud. Yeah. Like this guy, Andrew, what's his face? Andrew van der Vaart, or what he's called, said, great reset, and he is dependent. He wants people to think good about him. He doesn't want to be the monster. And I think this is also the reason, not only that others were involved, but also this is the reason that he conceals his part and downplays his part. Like, I don't know. Crazy, crazy, crazy case. Let's see what Brian Kohlberger case is going to unfold. What do you say to the theory that he killed the kids already after the birthday party the day before, and then Shanann, when she returned home? That's my theory, basically. That's what I said. According to the router logs, he did not come home after the birthday party. So that was coming from my corner. And Shanann, when she returned home, yeah. I do not believe that she was in his truck, though. I don't, boy. Late show up. Yeah, we were waiting. How are you? I remember hearing that he took a plea and knew in my gut there was something going on that wasn't normal and justice would not be served in this case. Maybe someday it will, you know? Maybe someday we will. It's just a matter of time. But at the moment, as I heard from a new pen pal he has, who happened to be German girl, he's pretty much all right with the situation he's in, and he is having different stuff on his mind other than what he did. Are we ever going to be able to broach the subject of facetious disorder? I know it's taboo, but I think it's relevant. The girl's medical records were sealed for a reason. One thing to this, they say that he wanted to seal that, but no. That what people mix up is the motion to seal autopsy for the time being, so it wouldn't come out before there was a trial. But as soon as they knew there wasn't a trial, they released it, actually. So, or are you talking about the HIPAA mercy choke? That's different. Oh, I do not believe that he is the mastermind as such, because he cannot do anything on his own, let alone coming up with a plan like this. But I do feel that he had this on his mind for quite some time. And he didn't know how to or what to do. I don't believe it's mastermind. I think related info to NKTM. A plan was hatched, but Shanann's injuries relate to a female. I don't know. I think Shanann would have fought like crazy. What did I miss? Did CW spill the beans and talked about NK, NA, TM, and Sandy? Not to my knowledge. Maybe to yours? No, I did explain. Actually, I did not even want to go live. I gotta be honest. But then I was going through emails from a long time ago too. And then I just, basically wrote down what's the most asked questions on emails and in comments on previous videos and stuff. And I came up with number one, explain the geo tab again, which I did. Then, do you believe it was Bella walking out the garage? And then show Shanann's phone movement again. And then I showed some misinformation that somebody commented that her arm was detached and stuff like that. So, and I explained a little bit from my view how I believe that misinformation is spread. Yeah. So, what is that I want to show you? About, what was it? Oh yeah, I wanted to show you from GeoTab actually. I'm gonna stop my camera real quick and present that as basically a bonus for today before I will leave you guys alone for another week. By the way, it's hard for me to go live Saturdays now because I'm working my normal work, and from 1 to 6 I have that online data thing going on. But my documentary will be coming out very soon. Just so you know. All right. So as I explained previous, you see from the coordinates at survey that's been given in the discovery right here. You see exactly where he was parked when he took the pictures. And do you remember when I showed you this in the geotab, when he was idling back and forth in this direction, and then he stood there idling, so driving by very, very, very slow. So we know that he wasn't actually leaving his truck and going out in the field to take that pictures of sunflowers. He was idling around like really slow and then took pictures of the field. And this lines up with exactly those coordinates. See that? These are the coordinates, and this is what the exact location. And now look at his geotab, exact same location. So this is pretty accurate what we see, right? What else is there? This is an old presentation I made ages ago. This is about the images. Oh, this is the presentation I made back then when I was looking for where she wanted proof of him going to work, when Kobach actually flipped on her. See, here you can see it a little better. This is exactly how he parked, right? So McCoy came from the left this way, parked, and then left this way, because the arrows on geotab tell us the direction, right? So what Chris did actually, he went this way, this way, this way, and then left this way. So of Troy telling investigators that Chris was parked right here is actually not true. Yeah, he basically drew down or pinpointed his own truck, because Chris this is the wellhead. They're not supposed to park near the wellhead. So he was asked, is it normal to park right there? And he said, no, you cannot park so close to the wellhead. So it's very, very unusual. But why are you squeezing in between the wellhead and Chris Watts's truck? That makes no sense. Yeah, so Troy, stop lying. What else? What was it? The picture of his laptop screen and stuff like that, where we know that Ronnie asked him, because I forwarded that question through Ronnie to Chris, and I wanted to know. So the question was, which picture did you send to NK the day off when she asked you to prove her that you've been at work? And he said the laptop screen. And also messages with coworkers. He also sent that to her. Oh, and is that a video actually? Oh, listen to this. This is when she says she wants proof. Is that even available anymore? No. Oh, I cannot pull it no more. Can I? No, I can't. It's in a different. Nah, I have to re-download it. But this was called Pictures from the Graveside. And this is actually a live stream I did, I don't know, 1.5 years ago or so, or 2 years ago. This was also one of my very early live streams. And I didn't know how anything worked, but I did it anyway. So watch this, and then you when I do the presentation, I play this so you can actually hear her saying that she wanted proof of him being at the site, at work, as she calls it. But actually, she wanted to have proof that he was on site. A lot of thieves on YouTube. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, you guys, I think I'm gonna hit my mattress. Like I said, I have injured my back, and I don't even know how to sit. I cannot sit for long. I was at a work colleague's birthday party yesterday, and I could only stay for an hour. I couldn't sit anymore. Just unbearable, the pain. So I was thinking twice if I even go live, but I wanted to talk to you again, you guys. All right, next time we're gonna go through NK's second interview. I owe you that one, and I'm gonna make my commentary on it again. And yeah, and then basically March is pretty much over, and then it won't be taking long until my documentary will be coming out. And I mean, that is really uncensored, because we will be showing everything. All right, you guys. What else is there to say? Just stay positive. Surround yourself only with positive people. Stay out of trouble. Stay out of drama. And I'm gonna spare you my little intro at the end. And yeah, I just hope everybody is good, everybody is all right, and we see each other very, very soon. Love you guys. And thank you all for your support as well. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.